we thought was interesting because it's attitudinal in nature. It's, it's asking people what's their impression around the sentiment towards managing AI and privacy challenges. You can see under a third, 28% are saying, or just over a quarter, I should say, 28% are saying they're ready and aligned. They feel like they've got this figured out. The teams and the folks internally, they're well coordinated. Just over a third are in the busy work of just making it happen, but they're not quite there yet. You can see combined, this gives us, if we do the quick math here, 2/3 of the companies are in these categories. So people are taking it seriously and they're tackling this, but you can see there are some folks, there's some laggards. 6% if you take those who are either risk averse and they're kind of not touching it, or there's widespread uncertainty. There's still some who fall into that, and another 10% with some growing concerns. So those percentages are obviously much smaller, but again, we have a very robust sample. If we take these combined, 26%, like a quarter of companies are struggling. And so let's not overly minimize the impact of that, because there's so many companies out there that we as consumers do business with, or as business people we do business with, a quarter of them are struggling. And so we have to be cognizant of that. And it really comes home when we look at, it's basically a correlation or an association between, so based on your answer to that earlier attitudinal question, what if we just looked at your privacy index score? Again, going back to this competence. So it does two things here, Paul. One, it validates our measure, but more importantly, it tells us what the impact is on where you stand in terms of just generally your sentiment towards how well your company is managing it. The overall average that we found for the Global Privacy Index in 2025 was 61%. So if you're making steady progress on AI, you're kind of in that average group, and you're in the average in terms of privacy competence. If you're ready and aligned and you're doing really well, it jumps and you surge way ahead. You're 16 points ahead here, as our headline shows. Conversely, those who are struggling, risk averse or widespread uncertainty, you're kind of measurably at the opposite end of that spectrum. You're falling well below the 61%. And you can see here you're giving yourself failing grades in terms of your privacy competence. So the relationship between your AI management and your privacy competence is clear.